Hi, it's Marianne Kilkenny. Another discussion by me about one of my favorite topics, and that's shared housing. It's something that I recommend, that I've done personally on numerous occasions. And I'm going to do it again in Sarasota with a good friend, Linda Williams, who I met through all my work in community. And I wasn't really sure, having lived alone for on and off for a long time as an adult, if it would really work for me. But all the years that I said, people need to live in community as we age. And then I was given the opportunity by some community-oriented friends that said, Marianne, here's a perfect house, a perfect opportunity. If you're not going to do it, who will? When confronted with that, I had to take the opportunity. And some of the things that I really recommend are knowing the people, having certain skills in place and ways to get along. Like we used the blueprint of we had weekly meetings. We had things planned out before anybody signed their name on the dotted line. There were also financial situations or financial arrangements that really made it work really well. As far as each one of us had a lease directly with the person that owned the house. Another thing that just in this particular situation really worked out very well was that the owner of the house did not live in the house. I could go on that a long time. But shared housing for me as an adult was nothing like it was when I was a student in college, although that probably was one of the experiences that I had in my cadre of past experiences to go from, which I really recommend that you do the internal work that says, is this something that I want to do, or am I somehow romantically thinking that this is all going to work out magically? Or is it the answer to a financial situation that will then make it possible for me to save money or stay in my house? For instance, a lot of people decide they want to share a house, their own house, with somebody because financially their house is no longer a viable possibility. And I recommend that there be more than that as a impetus to say, I want to share a house. I want to share my house, because this is kind of like being married to somebody, because you are living with them. And I really think that it's a really, really important decision to not go into lightly at all. I have lots of information on my website about it and resources. And I really wanted to point to you that the experiences that I had in the shared housing experiences that I've had were really positive, and it was with a great deal of forethought about who are the people that I'm going to be living with. What are the guidelines that we're going to agree upon? How are we going to keep things, as they say, green, making sure that when there are conflicts, we have tools that we can use to go through them, to get to the other side of those things. And how do we all make decisions together? Also, the physical space was a really important thing. In this particular place, everybody had a seating area. I didn't share a kitchen with other people, which was something that was important to me. So the physical part of it, the people part of it, and then to make sure that there's tools in place to make sure that there's ways that when there are conflicts, when we don't get along, not if, but when, that we can move through them, so that the living place that we use that we have as our sanctuary is a comfortable, loving, wonderful place. And probably the last important thing that I probably harp on a lot on the possibility of shared housing is I could live in a much nicer neighborhood, in a much nicer part of town, with much better appliances and parking and all that kind of thing than I could have ever done on my own. Is Marianne here with Women for Living in Community? And think about it. What would you like to share as you age in community?